My name is Dr. Ji Woo Park. That sounds impressive, right? Dr. Park. It makes you think I've got my life together. I don't. At all. That title just means I spent the last 6 years of my life getting slowly, quietly crushed in a PhD program. It was toxic. I know people use that word a lot, but this was the real thing. It was all gray concrete buildings, libraries that smelled like dust and anxiety, and professors who made you feel like you were an idiot for just having ideas. My advisor, this old, celebrated guy, used to just sigh when I'd hand in a chapter. A big, disappointed sigh that sucked all the air out of the room. He'd look at my work, the stuff I'd poured my soul into for months, like it was something he'd scraped off his shoe. Ji-woo, he'd say. This passion is charming, but it is not scholarship. You are treating literature like a support group, not a discipline. For 6 years, I was invisible. I was foolish. I was too naive for serious academia. I was the one who ate dinner from a vending machine alone, while the real scholars formed little shark-like circles at the wine and cheese events, tearing each other apart. So when I finally graduated, I ran. I didn't want a university job. I didn't want to become one of them. I took a job at Northwood High, teaching literature to teenagers. My goal was simple. I wasn't going to be like them. I wasn't going to be my advisor. I was going to be the mentor I never had. I wanted to create a room where kids felt safe, where they felt seen, where their passion wasn't a flaw. I was so desperate to make them feel seen. And if I'm being honest, I was desperate to be liked. I just wanted to prove that my ideals, empathy, nurturing, kindness, weren't stupid. My biggest fear isn't spiders or heights, it's incompetence. It's the deep, cold terror that I am and always have been a complete and total fraud. That my old professors were right all along. That's what I brought with me to Northwood, this big, bleeding heart and a terror of failing. I walked into that school thinking I was going to save them. I was going to build my little sanctuary of ideas. I didn't know anything about this town. I didn't know anything about the kids in my senior class, especially not the ones in the back row, the ones who never spoke, who never looked away, the ones who just watched me. I thought they were the ones who needed saving. I was so wrong. They weren't in danger. I was. And they were not just kids.
The first week was amazing. Seriously, it was everything I'd dreamed about. The halls were loud and bright, not gray and silent. The kids were alive. For the first time in my life, I wasn't Ji-woo, the struggling student, or Park, the one who's behind on her revisions. I was Dr. Park. And the kids, they were great. They were bright, they asked questions, they laughed at my dorky academic jokes. I talk about The Great Gatsby and the emptiness of the American dream, and they'd actually talk back. They'd argue. They had passion. My old PhD advisor would have hated it. He would have called it unchallenging. I called it healing. There was this one kid in particular, Ivan. He sat right up front. He was sharp, charismatic, with that easy confidence of a kid who knows he's gonna run the world. He was the one who always stayed a minute after class. Dr. Park, that was a really cool take on the unreliable narrator. I never thought about it like that. He was validating me. He was making me feel competent. He was making me feel seen. I ate it up. I lived for that little hit of approval. About a week in, he came to me with a smile. Hey, Dr. Park, the class and I had an idea. We love how you make literature feel like current, so we made an Instagram page for the class to post themes and quotes and stuff. He showed me the phone. At Dr. Park's class. It was full of slick, well-designed graphics about Gatsby and the things they carried. It looked professional. Brilliant. It's amazing, Ivan, I said. It's so creative. My heart swelled. This was it. This was connection. This was the nurturing environment I wanted to build. This was proof that my advisor was wrong. That night, I was feeling good. I was on my personal, private locked Instagram. I hadn't given anyone my handle. I was careful about professional boundaries. I posted a picture of my cat, Noodles, asleep on my old bound PhD dissertation. I captioned it, "My real thesis advisor." The next day, there was a new post on the at Dr. Park's class page. It was a cartoon, a really, really good drawing of a cat that looked exactly like Noodles, same orange patch over the eye, wearing a little square mortarboard hat. The caption, "Our real grand advisor." I laughed. The whole class thought it was funny. But a tiny cold part of my brain just snagged. My Instagram was private, locked. I hadn't approved any of them as followers. I pushed it down. It was a weird coincidence. Or maybe, one of them was friends with a friend of a friend. It was fine. It was cute. I was being paranoid. I was being that overanalyzing academic again. I had to stop. I had to just accept the connection.
That was the first little test. The real scare came a week later. It was Tuesday, nearly midnight. I was grading essays on my bed, pajamas on, laptop open. The window behind me was a black reflective square. My phone buzzed. At Dr. Park's class tagged you in a photo. I tapped it. My heart stopped. It wasn't a meme. It was a photo of me, right then. The back of my messy bun, the blue screen light reflecting on my face. It was taken from the darkness outside my window. The caption, "Dr. Park works so hard for us, Moonlight." I scrambled to the window and yanked the blinds shut, pressing my back against the wall. When I checked the phone again, the post was deleted. The paranoia set in hard, but the next day, the threat became physical. I was moving between desks during group work. I dropped a whiteboard marker near the front row and bent to retrieve it. As I straightened, I saw the glint. Ivan was slouching low, his phone resting on his thigh, the lens angled sharply upward, pointed directly up my skirt. I froze. He wasn't looking at the screen. He was watching me with a terrifying neutrality. "Ivan?" I choked, standing up fast. "Give me that phone." The class went silent. Ivan didn't flinch. He turned the screen to face me. It was the calculator app. "My phone?" His voice was smooth. "I was just calculating my grade. Is something wrong?" "The angle. You were taking a photo." I stammered. "You're tripping," another boy muttered. "He was just doing math." I stood there, shaking. I knew what I saw, but looking at the glowing numbers, I was the one who looked crazy. Accusing a student with no proof? I retreated to my desk, skin crawling. I felt dirty, watched. Nowhere was safe. 2 weeks later, shaking so badly I couldn't hold my coffee, I ducked into the girls' student restroom to hide.
I locked the furthest stall, leaning my forehead against the cool metal. Then came the clicking of heels. "I think she went in here," a voice giggled. "Dr. Park," another voice called, mockingly sweet. "Are you in there?" I pulled my feet up onto the toilet seat. I was a PhD hiding from teenagers. Then I saw it. A phone sliding across the tiles under the door gap, the lens facing up. I gasped, scrambling back against the tank. "Got her," someone whispered. Suddenly, phones appeared over the top of the stall door. Two faces peered down, recording. A flash went off in my face. "Why are you hiding? You look sweaty. Are you on drugs? Get out!" I screamed. They laughed, a cruel, echoing sound. "God, you're dramatic," Lisa said. "We're leaving, psycho." I sat on the toilet lid and cried until my throat felt like it was bleeding. I was getting called into meetings constantly now. The principal, with her surgically sharp pantsuits, didn't want to hear about the photos. "Dr. Park," she said, her voice dripping with artificial sympathy. "Ivan showed us his phone gallery. There was nothing there. And the girls? These said you found you crying in the bathroom and tried to help, but you screamed at them. You're creating a hostile environment. I was the problem. Again. I had one last chance. It was a Friday. I walked into my 4th period senior class. The high-tech smart board was humming. I walked to the door. I locked it. The click was so loud. "Dr. Park?" a girl in the front row asked. "Why'd you lock the door?" I turned to face them. My dignity was gone. My privacy was gone. I just want to talk, I said, my voice thin. "Not as your teacher, just as a person." Why? Why are you doing this to me?" I looked right at Ivan. The photos, the bathroom, the window. Why? The room was dead silent. And then Ivan, my star student, just smiled. It wasn't his usual charming smile. It was cold. It was dead. He stood up. "You want to talk, Dr. Park?" he said. His voice was no longer a kid's. It was hard. "Okay, let's talk." He took a step into the aisle. "You came here with your nurturing ideas. You told us you were different. You weren't. You're just weak." He picked up a copy of The Great Gatsby. He talked about weakness, about fraud, about people who pretend to be something they're not. He tossed the book onto the desk. It landed with the loud thwack. "You're not a mentor, Dr. Park. You're just desperate. You're desperate for us to like you. You let us walk all over you because you're terrified of being a failure. The photos, the invasion, we just wanted to see how far you'd been before you snapped." My blood ran cold. "Your ideals," he scoffed, "your empathy and kindness, that's not strength. It's a glitch. It's a weapon. Just not your weapon." He looked at me. His eyes were empty. "You're not a teacher. You're just a case study of incompetence. And you know what? Your old professors, they were right." Now, is it? I didn't just break. I dissolved. I slid to the floor, my hands over my face, just wailing. All the humiliation, the feeling of the camera lens up my skirt, the faces over the stall door, it all just poured out. And through it all, I heard it. Snick, snick, snick. I looked up. Lisa was in the back. She was holding her phone, filming me. She had been filming the entire time.
The meeting was short. The principal's office was clean, bright. There was a healthy-looking plant in the corner. The video was playing on a large monitor. My manic episode, they called it. The audio was crystal clear. My wailing echoed in the quiet office. Ji-woo, the principal said, the fake sympathy gone. Her voice was ice. Locking students in a room? A complete psychological breakdown? This is a terminable offense. The emails, the photo outside my window, the phone up my skirt, the girls in the bathroom. Ivan, he admitted it. She held up a hand. The police found no evidence of harassment. Ivan and the other students have all submitted statements. They expressed their deep concern for your aggressive instability. They said they were frightened. They've requested a new mentor. She turned off the video. You're fired. Your teaching license will be suspended pending a full psychological review. Security is here to escort you off the property. And that was it. I walked out of that school with a cardboard box, just like in the movies. I'm back in a tiny apartment. The loan bills for my brilliant PhD are piling up. I don't know what I am anymore. My whole life I was terrified of one thing, being a failure, of being seen as incompetent, foolish, and naive, of my old professors being right. I thought I could escape it. I thought I could use my heart, my empathy as a shield. They were right. All of them. My ideals were a weapon. My heart was a liability. My need to be liked, it was a glitch they just loved to exploit. I was so desperate to save those kids, to make them feel seen. But they saw me first. They saw me perfectly. And they didn't need saving. They were just waiting. And I'll just bet they're waiting for the next teacher right now.
The horrors linger. Thank you so much for watching or listening. By liking and subscribing, you're helping me summon the next chilling tale from the shadows. Join our community of the brave and prepare for what's to come.